السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أنبياء الله جميعا وعلى سيدهم وخاتمهم حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد، وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين، وعلى سيدي ومولاي الإمام أمير المؤمنين وقائد الغر المحجلين علي بن أبي طالب عليه الصلاة والسلام، وعلى الخيرين من أصحاب رسول الله. This is the first night of the nights of Qadr, and according to the narrations of Ahlul Bayt, the strongest possibilities of the nights of Qadr are either the 21st or the 23rd of Ramadan. But every odd night from tonight, every odd night beginning with the 19th, 21st, 23rd, 25th, 27th, 29th could be the night of Qadr. So these are holy nights, and we ask Allah to accept our deeds, our fasting, our prayers, our repentance during this holy month. And by the end of the month, we ask Him to grant us the forgiveness and to grant us the freedom from the hellfire, and He will gift us with His paradise. My condolences to all Muslims on the eve of the strike of Imam Ali alayhi salam, Laylatul Dharba, where Imam Ali, in the morning of the 19th of Ramadan, was struck in his mosque in Masjid al-Kufa, year 40th. And after 48 hours, on the 21st of Ramadan, Imam Ali left this life and joined the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his wife Fatima al-Zahra and other prophets in paradise. Imam Ali, it's really hard to speak about him. Imam Ali alayhi salam is the personification, the embodiment of faith, courage, sacrifice, knowledge, piety, commitment, hard working, truth, honesty. He is the embodiment of every noble character. Imam Ali is an encyclopedia. Each one of these characters of Imam Ali requires an encyclopedia to explain and elaborate upon. And I have only limited time, but I'm going to speak about him during these 3 nights, beginning with tonight, inshallah. This year, I've chosen to speak about Imam Ali through a specific angle, and that is, or a specific lens, and that is the books of Sahih, Kutub al-Suhah, in the Sunni tradition, in the school of Khulafa. And this is the book that I use almost every night, which has the 6 books, the 6 most important books, the cardinal books, the very main sources of hadith in the Sunni tradition are documented in these books. These are the primary sources. However, there are hundreds of secondary sources in the Sunni tradition, but these six are considered sacred. And there are, I would say, probably 200 or 300 explanations that are written about these books, which is the explanation, the tarjama or sharh, the sharh on Sahih Muslim, which is about 100 types of sharh, commentary on Sahih al-Bukhari. Same thing with Sahih Muslim. Same thing with Nasa'i, with Tirmidhi, with Ibn Majah, with Abu Dawood, As-Sajistani. And then we have Musnad al-Imam Ahmed ibn Hanbal, which is not considered part of these 6, but also one of the most reliable sources in the Sunni tradition. So despite the enemies that Imam Ali had, many people didn't like him. Let's state the facts here. Let's speak about them. Many people during the time of the Prophet and after the departure of the Prophet and today and tomorrow would not like Ali ibn Abi Talib. And many people did not like the Prophet. Many people didn't like Jesus. Many people didn't like Moses or Abraham. Abraham was thrown into the fire by his own community. Prophet Muhammad was stoned and chased down the roads of Mecca by his own community. For 13 years, he was bleeding. So it's not surprising if we find a noble man, a noble prophet, a noble messenger of God, a noble imam, successor to a prophet, in case of Imam Ali, who is being hated. And there are many reasons. The main reason in my opinion, the main reason is bigotry. And bigotry comes before ignorance. Sometimes people hate out of ignorance, but then when they know the truth, they change their mind. But when they hate because of a prejudice and bigotry and jealousy, that does not have a cure, believe me. That does not have a cure. يَعْرِفُونَ نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ ثُمَّ يُنْكِرُونَهَا. God says they know, in the Quran, God says they know the truth, but then they deny it and they reject it. Why? Because God says, فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ مَرَضٍ. God says to Prophet Muhammad in chapter 2, Surah Al-Baqarah, سَوَاءٌ عَلَيْهِمْ أَأَنذَرْتَهُمْ أَمْ لَمْ تُنذِرْهُمْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. There are a group of people, whether you speak to them, address them, admonish them, remind them, warn them, or you don't, they are not going to believe in you. في قلوبهم مرض. Why? The reason, very simple. There is sickness. There is a virus, deadly virus in their hearts. As long as that virus is there in their hearts, they are not going to believe you. They are not going to listen to you. So we have those people. We have them during all times, in all places on earth. 5,000 years ago and now, and 5,000 years from now, we're going to have such people. So my friends, the first important book here, which I'm going to speak, I'm going to mention Imam Ali in these books, his virtues in these books. The books that belong to the school of Khulafa, not a Shia references, no. All of them are from the school of Khulafa, okay? Beginning with Bukhari. But let me mention something. Before I go to Bukhari, let me mention something. That Bukhari, when he speaks about Ahlul Bayt and Imam Ali, he's very conservative. He's different from Muslim, he's different from Nasa'i, different from Tirmidhi, different from Abu Dawood. Why? For two reasons. Some people say, and Bukhari is Imam al-Hadith. Bukhari is number one, is the top, is the leader of Hadith in the Sunni tradition. And Bukhari, his book is considered أصح الكتب بعد كتاب الله تعالى, the most authentic book after the book of God, which is the Holy Quran. بإجماع باتفاق أهل العلم, consensus among all the scholars of Hadith, the jurists, in the school of Sahaba, in the school of the companions, they believe that Bukhari is beyond doubt. His book is immaculate. Every sentence written in his book is accepted. There is no argument about it. أصح الكتب. But when he speaks about Imam Ali, he's conservative. He doesn't state much. But when you go to the subsequent books here, in Muslim, in Abu Dawood, in Tirmidhi, in others, you find that they speak, more powerful about Imam Ali alayhi salam. When you go to Nasa'i, Imam al-Nasa'i, from Nisa or Nasa in near Shiraz, he was born there. Most of those Imams, by the way, all of them, not most, all 6 of them are non-Arabs. All 6 Imams here, the Imams of Hadith in the Sunni tradition, are non-Arabs. Non-Arabs, okay? Most of them were born in Bilad Ma Wara al-Nahrain, which is in Asia, which is Iran, Khorasan, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, these areas today. They came from these areas. They accepted Islam, and then they traveled to Mecca, Medina, Kufa, Basra, Baghdad, Damascus, Jerusalem, Cairo, some of them, and they learned, and then they published these books. They produced these great works. Bukhari had 2 reasons. One is that he was not in favor of Ahlul Bayt, because he was siding with the Abbasid political establishment. He was siding with Al-Mutawakkil al-Abbasi. Go and Google Al-Mutawakkil and see his history and see his behavior with the family of the Prophet, with the Imams of Ahlul Bayt. Mutawakkil al-Abbasi. He murdered the Imams. He demolished the grave of Imam Hussein. So Bukhari lived during that time. Bukhari died in 256. And Bukhari was contemporary to some of our Imams. Imam al-Hasan al-Askari, the Imam before him, the Imam after him. He was contemporary. But he did not. He chose not to narrate from the school of Ahlul Bayt. Some people say this is his tradition. This is his conviction. Okay? This is his stand against Ahlul Bayt. Theory number 2, it says no. No. He was in favor of Ahlul Bayt. But that happened. He stayed away from them. He did not mention their narrations in his book. He did not do riwayah from Ahlul Bayt in his books or in his book because of a political reason, because of the fear of the political establishment. Not that he loved the political establishment, but he feared them. He feared the punishment. He feared the sanction of the caliph at that time. So he didn't dare to speak. And some people say even if he spoke, people who would come after him, some are his students, are going to change that and remove it. They would not leave it in his book because that will be an evidence against the political establishment. So let's go now and let me show you something interesting. This book is called Sharh Nahj al-Balagha. The author, this was written 800 years ago by Izzuddin ibn Abil Hadid al-Madaini al-Mu'tazili. He was Shafi'i, he was Mu'tazilite, he was born in Madain. Madain is a village at the outskirts of Baghdad. And it used to be the capital of Iraq during the time of the Caliphate, Al-Madain. Baghdad was established by Mansur al-Abbasi later on. But Madain is more ancient and older than Baghdad. So the capital was Madain. So he was born there and he died in Baghdad during the Abbasid time. He wrote this book. This book is 800 years old. Ibn Abil Hadid, though he is not a Shia, but he's a fair man, I respect him. And that is the best sharh, explanation and commentary on Nahj al-Balagha. Nahj al-Balagha is the peak of eloquence, as many of you know. Nahj al-Balagha was gathered by Al-Sharif al-Radhi, one of the scholars, who did an extensive research to gather the work of Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib. Whether they are letters or speeches or short sayings, hikmah. He gathered them in a book. That book is called Nahj al-Balagha. Every Muslim should obtain, every Muslim and non-Muslim should obtain this book, Nahj al-Balagha, the peak of the eloquence, full of treasures, full of wisdom, full of, directives, how to lead this life. What do you do? Your direction in this life. This is the GPS, our GPS into this life. By a man, we have another GPS which is much higher, and that is the Holy Quran. But the Holy Quran was introduced by God. Nahj al-Balagha is introduced by a human being who lived for 62 or 63 years, and he's telling you how to lead your life, how to have a life of richness and fulfillment and production, how to win this life and the hereafter, even though you are the poorest person, even though you have been abused by the political establishment, even though people curse you day and night, as it happened with Imam Ali. For 70 years, Imam Ali was being cursed, my friends. 70 years. It's very painful. By Muslims. And we're going to read in the Sahih, how and who cursed Imam Ali, and why they cursed him, and how they cursed him. We're going to read it tonight, soon. So there are more than 50 sharh, commentary on, more than 50 on Nahj al-Balagha. Some of them are written by distinguished, scholars from the old times, such as Al-Fakhr al-Razi, such as Al-Qutb al-Rawandi. Some of them are written by, and one of them, this is one of them, of course, Ibn Abi al-Hadith. And some of these sharh are written by people, contemporary people, such as Sheikh Muhammad Abd of Egypt, Sheikh Subhi al-Salih from Lebanon, who was born in Tripoli, and he was assassinated in 1987 in Beirut. So these are contemporary ones. But I suggest to you, my dear friends, everyone should obtain Nahj al-Balagha, the original text, the original book, Peak of Eloquence, which has been translated to English, to French, to Persian, to Urdu, to many languages. And also, if you speak Arabic, it's important to obtain this, Sharh Nahj al-Balagha by Ibn Abi al-Hadith, because this is an encyclopedia. These are 20 volumes, my friends, 20 volumes. I've been enjoying this book for 40 years now. Okay, 20 volumes. It's a very rich book. And Ibn Abi al-Hadith was a philosopher, he was a historian, he was a jurist, he was a transmitter of hadith. He was a very important man. And he worked for the Abbasid. And he was not Shia. This is the important thing about this. He was not Shia. And I want to hear what the non-Shia say about Imam Ali alayhi salam. The non-Shia. It's very important for us to know what they say. Ibn Abi al-Hadith says that in page 16, let me read it for you here, page 16. He says, وَمَا أَقُولُ فِي رَجُلٍ أَقَرَّ لَهُ أَعْدَاؤُهُ وَخُصُومُهُ بِالْفَضْلِ. What should I say about a man, meaning Ali, that even his enemies confessed, أَقَرَّ لَهُ, confessed and acknowledged his virtue and his goodness. وَلَمْ يُمْكِنُهُمْ جَحْدُ مَنَاقِبِهِ. They could not deny his virtues. وَلَا كِتْمَانُ فَضَائِلِهِ. Neither concealing his goodness. فَقَدْ عَلِمْتَ. You know أنه استولى بنو أمية على سلطان الإسلام في شرق الأرض وغربها. Banu Umayyah, the fierce enemies of Ali ibn Abi Talib, they controlled the Islamic countries in the east and the west of the land. واجتهدوا, they strived hard. بكل حيلة, they used every method, every approach. في إطفاء نوره, to extinguish the light of Ali. والتحريض عليه, and to instigate and entice or incite hatred against him. والتحريض عليه. ووضع المعايب والمثالب له, and fabricating false and errors for him. وَلَعَنُوهُ عَلَى جَمِيعِ الْمَنَابِرِ. This sentence is very important. وَلَعَنُوهُ, they cursed him on all podiums, all pulpits. عَلى جَمِيعِ الْمَنَابِرِ. وَتَوَعَّدُوا مَادِحِيهِ, and then they threatened those who compliment Ali. They intimidated people who complimented Ali, who spoke good about Ali ibn Abi Talib. وَتَوَعَّدُوا مَادِحِيهِ بَلْ حَبَسُوهُمْ وَقَتَلُوهُمْ. Furthermore, they detained them, imprisoned them, and they murdered them. They murdered people who speak good about Ali. This is an important document, my friends. This is written 800 years ago by Ibn Abil Hadid, the Shafi'i, the Mu'tazilite, during the time of Bani al-Abbas, who also did not have good relationship with Ali ibn Abi Talib. Bani al-Abbas, they hated Ahl al-Bayt, who murdered Imam al-Sadiq, Imam al-Kazim, Imam al-Rida, Imam al-Hadi, Imam al-Jawad, Imam al-Askari, Banu al-Abbas. And this book is written there by a man who worked for the government, my friends. But he chose to speak the truth. I love Ibn Abil Hadid. And I ask God for the sake of Ali to grant this man paradise. Because he dared to speak the truth. To speak the truth at the time where government buying people minds and tongues and consciences. They would buy it from them. And nobody could speak the truth. But this man was able to speak the truth. وَمَنَعُوا مِنْ رِوَايَةِ حَدِيثٍ يَتَضَمَّنُ لَهُ فَضِيلَةً. They forbade people to narrate any story that speaks about Ali's virtue, أو يرفع له ذكرى, or any hadith that elevates Imam Ali's status. حتى حضروا, and they banned, أن يسمى أحد باسمه. Banu Umayyah did not allow people to call their children Ali. It was forbidden to call their children Ali. فما زاده ذلك, but that did not increase Ali, but رفعة وسموة, sublimity and glory and highness. وكان كالمسك كلما ستر انتشر عرفه. Ali was like the musk. Whenever you try to conceal it, the fragrance goes out. وكلما كتم, the more you try to conceal and suppress, تضوع نشره. People can hear the fragrance and the beauty of it. This is Ali. This is in book of Sharh al-Nahj. Let me just have one quotation. You know, if I spend this night till Fajr morning just to mention some of the books that I have now in front of me and to quote some passages, that will take me 7 to 8 hours about Ali. So I am selective here. I am selecting the most important. Listen to what Imam Ahmed ibn Hanbal says about Ali ibn Abi Talib. Imam Ahmed. Ibn al-Jawzi, Ibn Ali Abdul Rahman, Abu al-Faraj. His name is Abu al-Faraj Abdul Rahman ibn Ali ibn al-Jawzi. He has an important book of history. His book is known as Al-Muntazam, and he's from the Sunni tradition, of course. تذاكروا, he says in his book, تذاكروا عند أحمد خلافة أبي بكر وعلي. Ahmed ibn Hanbal, who is a leader of the Hanbali tradition today, they sat with him and they were discussing the Khilafah of Abu Bakr and Imam Ali. وقالوا فأكثروا. So people were gathered there and they started speaking and speaking and speaking. فرفع رأسه. Ahmad Imam Hanbal was nodding down. Then he raised his head. فرفع رأسه إليهم وقال قد أكثرتم. You spoke too much tonight. إن عليا, verily, إن عليا لم تزنه الخلافة. Ali was not adorned or decorated or increased in value by the Khilafah. وَلَكِنَّهُ زَانَهَا. He was the one who adorned the Khilafah, not the opposite, not vice versa. He was the one who added value to the Khilafah, to the seat of the Caliphate, Imam Ali himself. And then, وَهَذَا الكلام, Ibn Abil Hadid says, وَهَذَا الكلام يدل بفحواه ومفهومه. It means, the connotation of this, the statement of Ahmed ibn Hanbal means, على أن غيره, other than Ali, other caliphs, whether Abu Bakr or Umar or Uthman or others, ازدان بالخلافة وَتَمَّمَتْ نَقْصَهُ. Others, they were decorated by the Khilafah. And the Khilafah completed and integrated their deficiencies. وَأَنَّ عَلِيًّا, but when it comes to Ali alayhi السلام, لَمْ يَكُنْ فِيهِ نَقْصٌ. He did not have any deficiency. يَحْتَاجُ إِلَىٰ أَنْ يُتَمَّمَ بِالْخِلَافَةِ. He did not have any defects or deficiency that the Khilafah comes and integrates him and it brings him higher. No, he didn't need the Khilafah. وَكَانَتِ الْخِلَافَةُ ذَاتَ نَقْصٍ فِي نَفْسِهَا. The seat of Caliphate was deficient. فَتَمَّ نَقْصُهَا بِوِلَايَتِهِ إِيَّاهَا. Khilafah became integrated and completed when Imam Ali assumed the Khilafah. So he added value to the seat. Nowadays people, before their presidencies, before their reign, before they become prime ministers, nobody knows about them. Nobody knows their names. When he becomes a president or prime minister, people start respecting them. He has an entourage, he has a palace now, he has bodyguards now, so he's different. Imam Ali was not like that. Imam Ali, when he came to the Khilafah became beautiful. Before him, the Khilafah was not beautiful. According to this man, Ibn Abi al-Hadid, al-Mu'tazili, al-Madaini. Mu'tazili was Shafi'i. And I was wondering why Mu'tazili could defy the political establishment 800 years ago and speak highly about Imam Ali alayhi salam. Why? What happened? What happened? Then I found out that his Imam, which is Imam al-Shafi'i, Imam al-Shafi'i was a man who loved Ahlul Bayt. Listen here. This is Al-Imam Muhammad ibn Idris al-Shafi'i. سئل الشافعي من آل محمد. Imam al-Shafi'i was asked, who are the family of the Prophet? He said, إن لم يكن علي وفاطمة والحسن والحسين فوالله لا أعلم من هم. If they are not Ali, Fatima, Hassan, Hussein, then I really don't know who they are. Okay? And then here, الصواعق المحرقة, Ibn Hajar al-Haythami. He wrote a book slandering Tashayyu' and the Shia. But in that book, صواعق المحرقة, he says the Imam al-Shafi'i said these two lines: يا آل بيت رسول الله حبكم فرض من الله في القرآن أنزله كفاكم من عظيم القدر أنكم من لم يصلي عليكم لا صلاة له. This is in صواعق المحرقة. He speaks about Imam Shafi'i. He says, Imam Shafi'i says, if you don't send your salutations, your prayers upon the family of the Prophet, then your Prophet is not accepted. Another quotation from Imam Shafi'i. And this is where, this quotation is in Mafatih al-Ghayb, the biggest tafsir in the Sunni tradition by Al-Imam Al-Fakhr al-Razi. He says, Imam Shafi'i, وقال الشافعي, this is in his book, in the book of التفسير الكبير مفاتيح الغيب فخر الرازي: يا راكبا قف بالمحصب من منى واهتف بساكن خيفها والناهض. Then أعلمهم أن التشيع مذهبي. Imam al-Shafi'i says, تشيع is my tradition. إني أقول به ولست بناقضي. I will say it and confirm it, and I would not change my statement. إن كان رفضا حب آل محمد فليشهد الثقلان أني رافضي. If the love for the family of the Prophet is considered rejection, raf, then let the humans and the jinn, the whole universe, testify that I am rafidi. I am a rejecter. This is Imam al-Shafi'i, radiyallahu anhu. And you come also to Imam Ahmed ibn Hanbal. By the way, my friends, the famous Syrian Egyptian scholar, the author of Tafsir al-Manar. Tafsir al-Manar is written by Imam Muhammad Rashid Rida, who was born in Syria, but then he lived in Egypt, and he's the student of Imam Muhammad Abd, the Egyptian scholar. Muhammad Rashid Rida died in 1935, okay, about 85 years ago. And he produced Tafsir al-Manar. He says in his book Tafsir al-Manar that Imam Ahmed ibn Hanbal did not establish a madhab. So today when you find Hanbali tradition, it was not established during the time of Imam Ahmed ibn Hanbal. It was later on, after his death, his students came and they gathered his hadith, because Imam Ahmed was muhaddith, hafiz, muhaddith. He has musnadul Imam Ahmed. So he's a transmitter of hadith, narrator of hadith. Okay? So he says his students came, وَلَكِنَّ أَصْحَابَهُ جَمَعُوا مِنْ أَقْوَالِهِ وَأَجُوبَتِهِ وَأَعْمَالِهِ. They gathered his work, his fatwa, ما كان مجموعه مذهبا كما قال العلامة ابن القيم الجوزية. And this statement is made by Ibn al-Qayyim. Ibn al-Qayyim is the student of Ibn Taymiyyah, and both are Salafis, and both are followers of Ahmed ibn Hanbal. So Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyah says that Imam Ahmed did not establish a school, a madhab, school of thought. His students came and they established one, and then they ascribe it to Imam Ahmed ibn Hanbal. And then he says, his son Abdullah, the son of Ahmed ibn Hanbal, asked his father, ما تقول في التفضيل? Who is better? Because tafdil meaning who is better than the others. And this was a hot subject at that time. People wanted to know the truth. Who was the closest to the Prophet among the companions? Listen, this is the statement of Imam Ahmed ibn Hanbal. قال في الخلافة أبو بكر وعمر وعثمان. When it comes to Khilafah, Abu Bakr is better, then Umar is better, then Uthman. So number one is Abu Bakr, two Umar, third Uthman. قلت, his son Abdullah is asking him, how about Ali? فعلي قال يا بني. Listen to this. يا بني, my son, علي بن أبي طالب من أهل بيت علي بن أبي طالب من أهل بيت لا يقاس بهم أحد. No one can be compared to Ali ibn Abi Talib. He's from a household, a family, that no human being could be compared to them or rival them. Ali is different, different species. Different. This is why Imam al-Sadiq says, نحن أهل بيت لا يقاس بنا أحد من الناس. We are a household that people are not compared to us. You cannot say Imam al-Sadiq and then other Imams. My friends, I wanted to speak about Ahl al-Bayt in these books, but now I find that my time is over. Half an hour, and I could not. I was only speaking about the introduction. I wanted to mention Imam Ali in these books. So I will postpone that to tomorrow, inshallah. And I'm sorry about what happened. We should have, went through these books. But as I said, Imam Ali is an encyclopedia. Encyclopedia. If I sit here for days and days and days and speak about him, it's not enough, believe me. It's not enough. And we will see what the Prophet says about him here. Amazing things in these books. Amazing, my friends. You must know these books. You must know what the Prophet said about Imam Ali in these books. It's important. These are important evidence. Very important. We need to know what the Prophet said, but in the Sunni traditions, not the Shia traditions. It's very important. So we will continue on them. But let me say in 2 minutes, couple of minutes. Imam Ali tonight went to the mosque. 33 years ago, I wrote this book about Imam Ali. I was in Damascus. I found a manuscript that goes back. This manuscript, I found it in Al-Maktab al-Zahiriyya in Damascus. This is the first page of it. I obtained a microfilm of this manuscript. That is the oldest. This is 1,200 years old manuscript. The oldest record about Imam Ali's martyrdom, Imam Ali's death, written by an honorable Sunni scholar by the name Al-Hafiz Abi Bakr ibn Abi Dunya, who lived during the Abbasid. And he was the teacher of the children of some Abbasid caliphs at that time. So, and I took this, I purchased the microfilm of this manuscript, and I spent some time researching it. Look at this. This is the original manuscript. This is 33 years ago. And then we found here, it tells you the story of Imam Ali's death. What happened tonight and tomorrow and after tomorrow. It says, سهر علي في تلك الليلة. On this night, Imam Ali could not sleep. فقال إني مقتول. I'll be murdered tonight. لو قد أصبحت, in the morning. قال فجاءه مؤذنه. Imam Ali had a mu'adhin who raises the adhan in Masjid al-Kufa. بالصلاة فقام فمشى قليلا ثم رجع. Imam Ali went to the mosque, towards the mosque from his house, which is not far from the mosque, and then he came back. فقالت ابنته, his daughter, it could be Kulthum because he spent this night in the house of his daughter Kulthum. فقالت ابنته مر جعدة يصلي بالناس. Ask your nephew. Ju'da is the son of his sister, Hani. Hani is the sister of Imam Ali. Ju'da is her son. So if you know you are going to be murdered tonight, why do you go yourself to the mosque? Ask your nephew to go. مر جعدة يصلي بالناس. قال, Imam Ali said, لا مفر من الأجل. We cannot escape death. ثم قام فخرج. فمر على صاحبه. He passed by Ibn Muljam. صاحبه here means Ibn Muljam. He was sleeping in the mosque. وقد سهر ليله ينتظره. He stayed up the whole night, Ibn Muljam, Abdurrahman ibn Muljam, to murder Imam Ali. وقد غلبته عينه. But he could not resist. He slept. فضربه برجله. Imam Ali kicked him. وقال الصلاة. Wake up for the prayers. فقام لما رأى عليا ضربه. Ibn Muljam stood. And then the rest of the story, Imam Ali خرج فكبر في الصلاة ثم قرأ من سورة الأنبياء 11 آية. He started reading from Surah Al-Anbiya 11 verse. When he reached ضربه ابن ملجم من الصف على قرنه. He struck him on his head. But Imam Ali did not stop his prayers. فشد عليه الناس. People captured Ibn Muljam. وركع علي ثم سجد. Ali went to the ruku', then the sujood. فنظرت إليه. I saw him ينقل رأسه من الدم إذا سجد من مكان إلى مكان. The blood is moving. When Ali goes to ruku', the blood gushing out. When he goes to sujood, the blood gushes out. ثم قام في الثانية فقرأ فخفف القراءة. He stood for the second rak'ah. He did not cut off his prayers. Wow. He was eager to finish his prayers, the Fajr prayers. But in the second rak'ah, he made it fast. خفف القراءة ثم جلس فتشهد ثم سلم. He concluded his prayers. وأسند ظهره إلى حائط المسجد. And then he leaned on the wall of the mosque and he said, فزت ورب الكعبة. السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين يا علي بن أبي طالب. May Allah grant us His shafa'ah, His intercession on the day of judgment. My friends, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. We're going to take a very brief break, maybe 10 minutes, and then inshallah we come back to begin the a'mal of the first night of Qadr, inshallah, with our brother Haj Samir Amiri, beginning with the Quranic dua. So please prepare the Quran, have wudu, and prepare your copies of the Quran. So once we come back in about 10 minutes, inshallah, Haj Samir recites the dua of the Quran, and then after that followed by the ziyarah of Imam Hussein, and then dua al-Jawshan al-Kabir. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.